Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Our first guest today, hero or villain, and he's got the rundown.
Assemblyman John Marvel's been given a rough time by a lot of conservative Republicans because he was the one to vote for the tax package and help it pass. Today we talk to John Marvel and get his side of the story. And Dierdre Pike is news editor for the Reno News and Review. Is that a liberal publication, Sam?
Yeah, Andy, and Al Franken is a conservative. Coming up on the pundit panel today, Paul Enos, Chris Barrett, and Harry York. It's all coming up next on the all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Catch a straight, dine at 8. Lucky you. Lucky you. Dance till 1. Have some fun. Lucky you. Lucky you. Taste the shrimp. Have a sip. Try the pool. Play it cool. At the Sienna Hotel Spa Casino. Lucky you. Yeah!
The biggest risk your company can take.
Well, Barbara, you did very well on your interview.
Hiring employees can help your business get to the next level.
And your resume looks outstanding.
And it can also expose you to corporate crimes and costly lawsuits that can bring your company to its knees.
So, we'd like to offer you a position.
Before you hire another employee, hire the professionals at Employer Links. Call today to get our free CD-ROM, the top 8 risk of hiring employees.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years. Call 882-1700 to see what we can do for your organization.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad, political analyst Ande Engleman on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the News 4 Broadcast Center, here's Sam Shad.
We have a regular session, 2 special sessions, 15 Assembly Republicans hold out, don't want to pass the taxes, and finally, one folds. He's with us today, John Marvel. Are you a hero or a villain, John?
John, thanks for being here.
Sam, it's a pleasure to be on your show again. I wouldn't exactly call it folding. I would say probably using good common sense. As you probably know, the Senate Bill 8 had 3 major pieces of legislation in it. We had the tax package, plus we had the distributed school account, along with the class size reduction. And I think really when we got down to that end of the session, of the second special session, you had to really look at your priorities to see what do we really need, and particularly for the children in the state of Nevada. And I'm sure that would influence me more than anything to vote for SB 8, also to make sure that we had a 2/3 majority, because I'm still a little bit rankled with the Supreme Court with their decision that they were going to throw out the majority.
You too, huh?
Absolutely, because you know when it passes twice, the constitutional amendment passes twice, you know that's the will of the people. And I think people are still rankled over the fact that they turned down, and you might as well say they disenfranchised the people of the state of Nevada with that decision.
John, what would have happened if you hadn't voted for that
Well, the
bill?
only thing that we were threatened earlier was the fact that we had another bill called SB 6, and we were told by the Speaker of the Assembly that they would rescind their action and take AB1 out of SB6, and that would have been the bill. And that only passed by a simple majority, but they were going to bring it back to life, and that had, unfortunately, the franchise taxes in it for businesses, would have created a mini IRS in our Department of Taxation. And I think after meeting all day long with business community, with gamers, with all the responsible people, the day of the 21st, they thought the portions that were in SB 8 were probably more acceptable than anything else. And that was another reason why I decided to vote for SB 8.
And let me explain a little bit, Sam, in case the public's confused. This bill had previously passed the Senate. All that was needed for this, because of the Supreme Court ruling, all that was needed to pass this horrible bill that nobody liked was a simple majority of the Democrats. Didn't need any Republican votes at all. All they needed was a simple majority of the Democrats. It would have automatically passed and gone straight to the governor for signature, and there would have been nothing anybody could do. And even the Senate didn't want the bill.
Actually, SB 6 did pass by just a simple majority, but it was amended. They amended our House Democrats amended AB 1 into it. It had all the terrible taxes.
That's the education.
Had all the franchise taxes and all the other taxes that most people were opposed to. And I would like to compliment at this time for the great work the Chambers of Commerce did, from Reno Sparks and from Las Vegas, and their support that they gave us during the legislative session.
Okay, let me ask you a hypothetical here. If the tax bill had been passed by the simple majority, what do you think the reaction of the Nevada public would have been?
Court.
Oh, it would have gone to court.
I'm sure there'd have been a lot of lawsuits because, and then still it's not resolved yet. There's still some appeals being made, and of course just a matter of time. And we're hoping that the Supreme Court will reconsider their action. Well, perhaps like they did in California on the special election having over there, right, that they decided maybe they were going to reconsider their vote.
All right. So, what appeal? Appeal in federal court or in state court? What's pending?
We'd like to have our own Supreme Court reconsider their action, but then if that fails, then we'll just keep going on.
I'm sorry. Why am I laughing?
Because you've been sitting on this appeal for 4 months.
Yeah, then you exhaust all your remedies, and of course go to the federal and hopefully end up in the United States Supreme Court.
Okay. What kind of pressure was brought to bear on you to change your vote?
None. There was no pressure, just that we met all day long on the 21st, the last day.
When you say we, you're talking about?
Well, the leadership of our caucus.
Okay, of the Republican Assembly.
Right. And we met with many of the business communities, as I said earlier. And what was in SB 8 was probably some of the best ingredients we could have for a tax bill. And we avoided any kind of franchise tax, any kind of income tax, and we didn't create a monstrous IRS in our Department of Taxation.
John, do you support any of the recalls or the repeals that are going to be floating around?
I'll tell you what, it sounds to me like we're getting right in the same position as California. I think voters, when they go during the duly called elections, that's when the voice of the people should prevail. I don't like the recall.
Elect people and let them do their job. And if you don't like the job right, vote them out.
Get them out.
Get rid of these term limits. Okay, it was said on this program that you changed your vote to help save the careers of some of the young legislators who were part of that group of 15.
Well,
True story?
We had some real bright young Republicans that were coming up, and you never know what's going to emanate out of a campaign, and how many people are going to be accusatory and say you voted for a terrible tax. Well, we still are paying for 9/11. But these, in order to shelter these people, but primarily the reason I changed my vote was to free up the money for the schools, and I didn't mind having to bite the bullet. And at the same time, it kind of protected the freshman legislators.
Okay, your district is huge. It goes from Sparks to Battle Mountain.
It's kind of skewed.
It is kind of skewed. Are you concerned? Do you plan to run for re-election? Are you concerned about your chances?
As I tell everybody at my age, every morning I get up, I say one more time.
John Marvel, thank you so much for being here. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
Just wait.
Thanks, John.
Experience adrenaline with Curtis Adams. Watch him defy modern science with amazing acrobatics and sexy show-stopping effects that'll make your pulse race. Adrenaline. It's a new kind of magic. One night only, September 27th, live at the Pioneer.
Adrenaline. Curtis Adams.
magic that rocks.
It's hot.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at Dierdre is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South Dierdre Parkway in Sparks.
Welcome to Sushi Club, best sushi in town. The Sushi Club in Independence Square uses the best quality products. The sushi is dynamite, and the service is just wonderful.
The Sushi Club is bigger and better. We have 11 sushi chefs on staff, and the service is great.
All your friends will tell you that Sushi Club is the best place for the best sushi.
Come join us for lunch or dinner.
The Sushi Club, 294 East Moana Lane in the Independence Square.
Now that's great sushi.
To experience the royal cuisine of India, you need some serious magic or simply transport yourself to India Garden, right here in Reno, where you'll discover Indian specialties refined over centuries. Seekh kebab, tandoori dishes cooked in our own tandoor oven, biryani specialties, curries, fresh-baked Indian bread, over a dozen vegetarian dishes, even dishes rare to India like dosa, South Indian-style crepes. India Garden off South Virginia near Sports West. We are India.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
Back on Nevada Newsmakers, I'm a regular reader of the Reno News and Review. I like to know what the alternative press is writing. One of the best writers that they have is Dierdre Pike, and she joins us today. She's the news editor. Welcome, Dierdre.
Hi, it's good to be here.
Good. Dierdre, you just got back from Cancun and the World Trade Conference.
Yes, I did. I'm still decompressing from an exhausting 4 days there.
What happened?
About 12,000 protesters showed up at the 5th Ministerial of the WTO, the World Trade Organization. If you recall Seattle in 1999, about 50,000 protesters showed up there. So the turnout was about a fifth of that. Cancun's a little more expensive to get to for folks who are foes of global economy.
How did you come away feeling about global economy? Are you for it or against it?
I think that a global economy could be a wonderful thing if attention were paid to an equitable trade organization that allowed the developing countries of the world to be on par with the superpowers, with the United States and European countries.
Okay, explain that. I mean, how would you see, Burkina Faso being on a level with the United States? It's not going to happen.
Yes, it's not going to happen. They're never going to be on the level of the United States. However, certain things within the system can be set up to allow it to at least be fair. The farmer or worker in South Africa is not going to be able to produce a product that can compete with a product coming in from the United States, where where agriculture is heavily subsidized. So they're being forced to import these products because these products are more competitive from the United States or from developed countries, which undercuts businesses there. Businesses there go out of business, and folks are forced to go work for large international corporations that will employ them, and often at low wage. They move from their family farm into the city where they live in urban slums, etc. It's just there's some things in the system that just aren't very fair.
All right, so would there be a way of equalizing wages that are paid somewhat around the world, so then we wouldn't have companies moving from country to country in order to get cheaper labor?
There would be a way. The World Trade Organization sets itself up in opposition to those kinds of things. It would like to see this homogeneous trade rule for the entire world that allows corporations the rights to set kind of these standards rather than individual governments. So say back to South Africa, the government of South Africa couldn't say, you have to pay our workers a livable wage, and you have to allow us to set standards for the environment, for labor and the environment, because the interests of the corporation would outweigh the local
Wow.
The local rule.
But then whatever they paid in one country, they would have to pay exactly the same thing in another country, right?
Basically,
the corporate would set the wages.
Isn't this some kind of form of communism?
I don't know.
The world corporate communism.
Yeah, right.
I think
the government out of it.
What the protesters are worried about is an increasing gap between the impoverished and those who are getting rich. Largely
in America too.
In America too. It's not just in third world countries. So what happened at this summit, while 12,000 people were out protesting on the streets, inside the World Trade Organization, there were the same kinds of divisions. You've heard of the G8, the group of 8 superpower nations. During this ministerial, starting on Tuesday, groups of developing nations started to get together and form their own group. Then, as of this week, it was the group of 21, and those are countries like Brazil and South Africa, and they are getting together saying, we want a better deal. We want a better deal from the World Trade Organization. So that's where it ended. They walked out on the meetings.
Fascinating. I want to flip this. President asked for $87 billion for the continuation of the war in Iraq and for Afghanistan over the next year. $500 billion deficit now for next year. From your perspective, are you shocked, surprised that we suddenly have this amount of money when we have so many problems in this country? That we've got $87 billion to spend somewhere else?
We don't really have that money. Does it surprise me that he asked for it? Not at all. The military is a huge industry, in our nation. It's our big spending. It's our biggest contributor to the deficit. It's what we do. We spend a lot of money on the military here.
But do you not think that if we can, loan ourselves $87 billion for the war effort, that maybe we could take 20 or 30 billion and put it towards issues that we need help for in this country?
I was talking about this with someone yesterday. The cost to run the Pentagon for 12 hours is basically what it would cost to run the WIC program, the Women, Infants, and Children program that gives away free milk and cheese.
Wow, that we just had to close.
Exactly. Just a couple hours at the Pentagon could pay for an entire program like that.
We have to close it here, but I wanted to come back.
Right.
I want to hear a lot more from you, if that's all right. Okay? Dierdre Pike with Reno News and Review. It's a great publication, and best of all, it's free.
It's free.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
Before you head to Carson, take care of yourself with a visit to Tamarack Junction. Catch a hot cup of coffee and the morning news on one of our 32 TVs and enjoy the best food in South Reno. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
The Abowed family has an appetite for dialogue. Agree or disagree, have the conversation. All opinions are welcome. Since 1977, Adele's.
Today's lesson, another reason to take the Gold Rush Club Card Challenge. With the Gold Rush Card, you really have 3 cards in one. Use your cash back. You still keep your comps and drawing tickets. Use your comps. You still keep your cash and drawing tickets. And with your drawing tickets, you could win thousands in cold hard cash every week. And still keep your cash back and comps. Does your club add up? Graduate to the Gold Rush Players Club. It's the smart thing to do. The Gold Dust West, south on Keystone, east on 4th.
When you sign up for Wells Fargo Free Checking, you get more than free checking. You get the freedom to bank when and where you want. Wells Fargo, the next stage.
Make your daily commute easy with breakfast or lunch at the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy daily specials, super fast service, and South Reno's freshest morning meals. Tamarack Junction, your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
And now, back to Nevada Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad and Ande Engleman.
You know, I think it's interesting that alternative newspapers have become so prominent in our society. The Las Vegas Review-Journal actually owns the alternative newspaper in Las Vegas.
Owns one of them.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Because there's more than one in Las Vegas.
But still, interesting.
Yes.
Our pundit panel today, Chris Barrett, Harry York, and Paul Enos. Welcome all of you. Let's talk about water rates. Harry, you're going to testify on this. The water rates are going to go up by what, 60-odd%?
For commercial, they're looking at anywhere from a third to 50% increase. For the flat unmetered residential, they'll probably be the same thing, anywhere from 50 to 60% increase on those.
50 to 60% increase.
Regular metered also has an increase, but not as much.
Is this not outrageous?
It is outrageous, and we're going to ask the Tumwa board to postpone their decision so we can take a look at where they're spending the money beyond just paying off the debt, and they need to collect that much money to pay off the debt.
Chris, you were saying something earlier about the employees that, when it got sold from Sierra Pacific, there were 78 employees running the water division, and
87, I think, was the number.
It was at 87, and now there's 100 and how many?
40.
140 employees, and they want to hire more. And Chris, you were saying something about you thought some of those same employees.
It's my understanding, Andy, that when the Truckee Meadows Water Authority was formed, a number of the people from Sierra Pacific Power Company, which ran the water system, they went over to work for Tumwa. And it's my understanding that a number of those employees, for doing the same type of work, the same job, got some pretty good increases in their salaries in the benefit program by just jumping over to there. I think it needs to be looked at. I think we need to look at the cost. Water is expensive. I think you need to pay for what you use, and going through that hearing, it's a tough position for everybody to be in over there.
Harry and Chris have both made some good points about it. I think we need to look and see where that money is being spent, what's going into service the debt, and what's going into build up the infrastructure.
Well, also, when you start seeing, I believe it was Dave Ayazi was quoted in the papers, not knowing whether they got a good deal or not when they actually bought the water company. Did they pay top dollar for it? I mean,
well, they paid top dollar, but it was a competitive situation, and somebody else was close to the same price they paid, and that probably would have been a private company. We'd probably be at the same rates.
And see, what we don't know is whether or not they paid more than they had to, because all the other bids are secret. So we don't know what the other people were offering.
Crazy situation.
Yeah, and the public's going to pay for it, unfortunately.
Well, and I'm with people on fixed incomes looking at perhaps a 60% increase in their water rates. We're talking serious money.
That's right.
This is not chump change.
And this is no longer regulated by the Public Utilities Commission because it's now under government. And this is something that I warned everybody about at the time the sale went through. I was with another station at the time. And
there's another station? My TV doesn't go that way.
And people just said, "Oh no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine."
The history here of the water in this community has been hot. People in the West naturally feel that water is a God-given right, and I don't want to pay for it. And that's the Western mentality. And quite frankly, that's the freedom and the Western spirit. But also, if we compare Reno, Sparks, Washoe County compares the rates and the quality of the water and the way that authority is run right now to other Western state municipalities. We are at the top rank
in terms of what we're paying.
On what we pay for our water and the quality of our water, and the people of this community demand that.
I think it was important, though, that we keep the water here and keep the ownership of the district here, and I think we made that decision, and for the most part, most of the community supported keeping that ownership, whether it be public or private or whatever.
Okay,
that it stay here and we can control.
Was there an opportunity for somebody to actually export our water to another area?
No,
that was something that was
I don't
brought
think
up.
so.
No,
I think the way it was set up that they could sell it, they could not export.
Okay, last question on this topic, because I want to get to another topic here. Does it make sense at this point to look at privatizing the water company?
Well, that's where it came from. It was on the private side.
No, I know, but I mean to go back to that.
Well, that certainly is an option.
Yeah.
You do have a board, an elected board, that elected officials that sit on that board, and they give the direction to the administration of the Tumwa. Maybe that is maybe that should be or should not be. I don't know.
Quickly, because we don't have much time left. John Marvel's being castigated by a lot of Republicans. You guys all testified against taxes.
Well,
the legislature. Is John a hero or a villain? And we only have a few seconds.
John's a hero.
Double hero.
John's a leader and a hero.
Boy, I asked for a brief answer and I got it.
Gee, we have 15 seconds left. What do we do?
I don't know.
Assemblyman Marvel stepped up and showed his seniority and his leadership to the freshman legislators on both sides of the aisles to do the right thing.
And as he said, kept our state out of a constitutional crisis that we would be looking like California right now if John didn't.
We could still be in court with no budget.
Well, and as he showed on our interview, a very classy man.
Right.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.
Big Apple Pizza, best pizza in Nevada, take one.
Today we're making homemade meatballs for a meatball parm. You like cheesesteak? I think you're like in South Philly right now. It's the best cheese ever made. Now that's how a Philly cheesesteak's supposed to look.
And here's Little Cole.
This is authentic. We'll throw some pepperoni in here. Not gonna be shy about it. Yeah, I bet you guys didn't know I could do that. Don't skimp on the toppings. Authentic as it gets. Big Apple Pizza and Subs on the corner of Bering and McCarran. A New Jersey guy who knows how to make an East Coast pizza.
Would you like to savor a Trento pork chop? Or maybe pasta rags with grilled chicken? Hugo's Tuscan Grill at Dierdre is a celebration of color, flavor, and freshness. Each dish is created from natural, wholesome foods that is delicious and nutritious. Hugo's is a comfortable restaurant with breathtaking city views. If you enjoy great food and good company, visit us here at Hugo's. It's the best that dining can be. 2900 South Dierdre Parkway in Sparks.
Experience adrenaline with Curtis Adams. Watch him defy modern science with amazing acrobatics and sexy show-stopping effects that'll make your pulse race. Adrenaline. It's a new kind of magic. One night only, September 27th, live at the Pioneer.
Adrenaline. Curtis Adams. Magic that rocks.
It's hot.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Charter Communication.
Interesting question of statesmanship. When you have somebody like John Marvel who is prepared to take the heat to allow other people's careers to move forward, I think that's a remarkable thing.
Well, that's a profile in courage. You recall John Kennedy wrote a whole book about people who did the right thing, even though it may cost them their careers.
And you know, it was interesting because from the very beginning of the session, Senator Raggio said that all you have to do is the right thing.
Right. And tomorrow, we've got a couple of interesting guests. We've got Pete Ernott to tell us what he thinks the right thing is.
Oh yeah, I got some questions.
Yes, so you'll want to be here.